How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Meta platforms, previously known as Facebook. This is a stock we love to talk about inside of the Discord, and I wanted to share it here on YouTube. I do have high conviction in this play. I love adding to my position. I'm going to talk about it further inside of this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. As far as for the bullish case scenario and the bearish case scenario, there will be a little bit of bias, but it will give you the right setup whether you're a trader or a long-term investor. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important, it does have an impact on the way the stock performs and also gives us a good idea of overall market sentiment. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Meta platforms previously known as Facebook. So let's see how it performs. So it ended up closing at $333.74, being down 0.22%. On the low, it tested $327.65, and then on the high, testing $335.70. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 19.159 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 21.35 million shares. So not too far off from the average volume, and we did see a lot of strength considering how choppy the markets were. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 53.08. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, but one thing that is very clear though, we are above the 50-day, the 200-day, and as well as for the 21-day EMA. And I like how it is looking. We see Facebook is in a strong consolidation phase. It has been trading in the range from here around 310 all the way up to 350. If you're a long-term investor in Facebook, in Meta platforms, when it got down to the close to the 300s, then you should have been adding to your position. That is a great opportunity. And this wasn't too long ago. This was back on the 3rd of December. And look where we're at $333.74. So what I want to look for from Facebook, is it going to be able to hold up the 21-day EMA at $329? If it is able to do this, then of course, we can look forward to seeing continuous consolidation and potentially looking forward to seeing a move getting closer back into the 340s. We were actually able to do this back on the 13th. So this is why this is not out of the question whatsoever. Another thing also to pay attention to, I feel if we could break out of this 340 area, we could easily make moves going to around 350. And above 350, this is where we want to see Facebook really shine and catch up with the other FANG stocks that have already been hitting 52-week highs as well. It'd be really good to see that from Facebook, and this is why I feel there's a lot of upside in this play and why I'm sharing it. A lot of people inside of Discord have heard me talk about this play for a long time now, and I'm happy to share with you guys on YouTube. So overall, in general, let's see how Facebook performs going into tomorrow. But if we have continued volatility as a long-term investor, I love adding to my position when Facebook is as close to $300 as possible. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Facebook. So when we see the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 42.31%. And then for the dark pool short volume being just over 3.77 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 6 minutes ago. And then for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.25%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 10th, it was at 47.58. And then for the close of the 13th, we had 42.31. So one thing that is very clear, Facebook actually does have short squeeze potential. There's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock. No surprise, we see it all over in the media and so on. But at the same time, I want you guys to be aware, I still hold this as one of my high conviction long-term plays. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Facebook. So we can see here on the inflow, it's at 1,037, and then on the outflow, it's at 1,542. When we take a look at the breakdown, you can see on the large, it was 69.61. On the medium, it was 961, and then on the small, it was 6.30. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 422. On the medium, it was 1,116, and then on the small, it was 3.16. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today it being an outflow of negative 352.85 million, and then also we saw on the 13th it was at 377.06 million. Now when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, which tends to represent the retail side, we had a lot more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, we had a lot more selling than we had buying, with 422 million versus 69.61 million. Big difference. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it is at 0.73%. No surprise, because Facebook is the kind of stock people are buying to own. Yes, we do have traders that go in and out of this play and so on, but for the most part, this is a long-term play. This is one of the big FANG stocks. So taking this into consideration and with the volatility that we have, this is why I was talking about potential buy levels, because it's not financial advice inside of the technicals. I'll touch on that a little bit inside of the final thoughts. I won't waste any more time. Let's actually get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for Meta platforms, previously known as Facebook, I won't be able to shake Facebook off. One thing that you want to be clear about, this stock has been trading in a very tight range. It is going through consolidation. One thing we could see in regard to support is right around $327. So this is where you look for it to actually bounce off of to see where it could test in the 330s or even in the 340s. This is what we have been seeing in the past. Facebook is a proven business, and with the environment that the market is currently in, you're seeing a lot of money flowing into these big cap stocks. Plus on top of that, they want to be the leaders into the metaverse. So taking all of this into consideration, this is why I see it as a long-term play, and I talk about it a lot inside of the Discord. And also when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, Facebook has short squeeze potential. There's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock, and I know you're not going to be surprised by that. You see the media. Facebook is definitely dealing with a lot, and with that comes a lot of volatility inside of the stock itself. So if you are going to be putting your money into this play, just know that's going to come with the territory. You're going to be seeing a lot of fluctuations, but at the end of the day, I don't find this as a problem. And another thing we need to take into consideration, we've been seeing other big cap stocks reaching 52-week highs. Most recently, we've seen how Apple has been on a tear. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on Apple. We love Apple in the Discord as well. But for Facebook, I feel it has a lot more room to run, especially in the medium term. This is the type of play where I want to see it get to $380 within a year. And that's a good amount of upside considering right now it's right around $333. And of course, you're going to get that pullback going into the 320s before the end of this week. But taking all of that into consideration, this is a long-term play. I'm down to hold Facebook for the next 5 to 10 years. You might have a different time horizon, so you got to do what works well for you. And of course, this video is not financial advice whatsoever, but I do love Meta platforms. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how it performs going into tomorrow.